Hey, it is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode, the 4th of July special. We should get some fireworks going back up here on this screen behind us. The 4th of July special of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrisman. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, helping you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is really getting started with a real estate career. What courses are required, not just the course to pass the exam, but then what courses you've got to take to actually know what you're doing with your real estate license and actually get to making some money. Because that's the whole point of all this, right? I mean, you're not getting licensed just to go get a license. You're getting a license to make some money, to change your life, to change the way it is that you work, to maybe potentially become an investor, for all these different reasons why you might be going through this process to get your real estate license. And that's what I also want to talk about today is what it is you could do with this real estate license and how do you get to that point? What path do you have to go down to get to that point where you're able to do these things with your real estate license? So that's what we're covering today. My name is John Charismo and you're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're gonna love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. Had to take an extra long intro there so you get the fireworks queued up in the background because it's 4th of July tomorrow. We're celebrating America. We're celebrating independence. But look, let me ask you this. Do you have independence in your life? Because that's what we're talking about with the real estate career is getting independence. Hey, Logan, can we get also maybe the red and blue lights on in the background too? Make it real patriotic in here. Oh yeah, there we go. We're getting there. So, look, independence. That's what America was founded on. But let me ask you this. Are you living with independence? That looks kind of cool. It looks like fireworks going on in the background there. So are you living with independence? Do you get to decide what it is that you want to do? Now, look, I mean, I'm going to be the last person that's going to tell you could just, have money come to you automatically. That is possible. That doesn't just happen. It happens after you've put in a lot of work. And it's really a question of how much work it's going to take to get to that level of independence that you desire. So how much independence do you want? Do you want to be able to just leave work when you want? Is that your independence? Or do you want to be able to do what you want, go the places you want to go, build your own schedule? Because look, this is going to still involve work. Again, I'm the first person that's going to tell you you've got to work for it. This doesn't just come to you. It involves work, but is the work that you're doing providing the results that you desire? And that's something very possible with real estate. So before I got my real estate license, and every day, I feel like I'm unlocking new potential. Potential that didn't exist before. And, even before I got started with real estate, I felt like that to a certain extent, but then it felt like, I'd maxed out what the possibility is, that I couldn't go any farther, that I couldn't push myself anymore. Even if I did push myself anymore, there wasn't any results out of it. And that's where, I turned to real estate. And so, look, to give you a little bit of background on me, my backstory, my family, I grew up in real estate. Ever since I was like this big, you can't even see on the screen here, I was out, helping my dad hold open houses. We rehabbed some houses. So I grew up in that. Nothing too crazy. I don't have any, rich uncles or anything like that. Grew up very middle class. But, I grew up with drinking that Kool-Aid of, you got to go to school. You got to go get a good job. And so I went to school. And I went and got a good job. And, it was good for the first couple of years. For the first, probably about 2 years or so, I really enjoyed what I was doing. And then year 3, I'm like, all right, this isn't really working out as quickly as I want, but let me stick with it. And like year 4 and 5 there, I was plotting my escape. And that's when I started thinking, really closer to the end, that I started thinking, maybe I should give a look at real estate again. Maybe I should go check that out. And, the rest is history, as they say. So look, enough about me, enough about my story. Let's talk about your story, or your story that's yet to be written. Unless you've already got a real estate license, then you're probably not here watching this video on how to start a real estate career. At Tampa School of Real Estate, we're trying to make this easy. That's our goal here. We want to keep it simple. We want to make it easy. We want to put you on the path to success. The path to success. And what that path looks like for you is going to depend not only on what you want to get out of real estate, but also what you want to do in real estate. A real estate license is powerful because it unlocks a lot of capability and potential of things that you could do. Different areas you could work in. Whether you want to do, the most common area of real estate is residential. Helping people buy and sell homes. And something kind of closely related to residential is residential investment. And look, maybe you want to be an investor yourself. But look, investing takes money. Somebody's money from somewhere. And even if you can figure out one of these no money down gimmicks that are out there where you basically are, whether that's, you're somehow using credit card money or whatever scheme essentially is out there to turn where you wouldn't normally be able to get no money down into a no money down type of situation. Or maybe you're a veteran and you qualify for a VA loan for your home with no money down. I mean, there are ways to do no money down, but it's not a scalable type of situation. If you want to invest in more than just like 1 or 2 properties, you're going to need some capital. Now, the problem is, especially as a new investor, somebody new to real estate, you don't know. It doesn't matter how many books you've read. It doesn't matter how many seminars you've been to or how many courses that you've done. There's still some real-world experience to be had. And the whole question of whether or not you could apply even what you've learned in those books, those courses, those seminars in the context of the actual real world. And when it's your money on the line, when it's your investment and you don't know what you're doing, that's extremely risky. Now, that's why investing in real estate has such high returns compared to a lot of other investments, is you really got to have the knowledge piece down to be able to become successful with this. So let's rewind back. So you want to maybe be an investor in real estate, but you don't have any money to invest in real estate. Or maybe you don't yet know how to invest in real estate. So that's maybe something that you're trying to learn. So you're thinking about investing in real estate, but you don't know where to even begin. And that's where you could get a real estate license. And rather than being an investor yourself, you don't need a real estate license to be a real estate investor. But getting a real estate license allows you to assist investors to broker deals. That's what we do with a real estate license. We're brokering deals, and to broker means to bring together buyers and sellers, or also maybe owners and renters as well for working on the rental side of things, but we're bringing these people together. We're the middleman, we're brokering the deal, and we're getting paid a commission for doing that. So you could do that in residential, helping people buy their home, and that's where probably the most amount of the highest volume, the highest frequency of transactions is probably going to be right up here in residential. Now, the investment side of things, there's a lot of transactions that go on there as well. But any of these other categories we're going to talk about requires specialization. Now, they're still going to require a real estate license for you able to be brokering the deals between these different parties, but you're going to need some additional knowledge, some additional information to really show value to an investor. An investor will still pay a commission, but only if they see value in you. Now, it's real easy to offer value to a consumer that's buying a property for their home, because any knowledge that you have whatsoever that they don't have, and there's a really low bar to be able to surpass the amount of knowledge a typical consumer would have about real estate. You've had a real estate license for more than a couple of weeks, or you really, even before you have a real estate license, if you're in the process of getting it, you probably have more knowledge already than the general consumer would for buying their home. But now an investor, on the other hand, where this is basically how they earn a living off of investment properties, you have to be able to show value, and you have to have specialized knowledge. You have to be able to supersede their knowledge. Which, again, that's the whole chicken or the egg thing. Well, how do you start investing if you don't have the knowledge? And then if they need knowledge, how do you work with them? So you find people maybe that are wanting to get started investing. You start studying, you take that information, and you're helping somebody else invest. And now the benefit here is it's not your money on the line. You might not have money to put on the line, or you might want to, just be on the sideline at first and witness what's going on. Look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Christopher. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam, because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is become